It's been a while since I made a productivity-focused video for the iPhone, so in the spirit of being productive, let's get straight into it. These are 10 productivity tips for the iPhone that I reckon most owners don't know. Okay, let's get into it. A Safari tip that I find most people have no idea about is the ability to view a list of your recently closed tabs. It's a really useful feature because it gives you a second chance to reopen something that you might have accidentally closed. To do this, open Safari and double tap the ellipsis button in the bottom right corner to go into the All Tabs view. Then long press the plus button in the bottom left corner and you'll see a list of all your recently closed tabs. If there's anything in there that you want to bring back, just tap on it and it will reopen instantly. If you've missed a call from someone, you can now create a quick reminder to call them back directly from the phone app. In the phone app, if you're using the unified view, you'll see 3 options down at the bottom of the screen. If you're in the classic view, you'll see 5 options. To check which one you're using, tap the filter button at the top of the screen. This is where you can switch between classic or unified. In the unified view, tap the calls tab at the bottom. Find the missed call that you want to be reminded about, then swipe from right to left on that call and tap the blue clock icon. This gives you the option to create a callback reminder. You can choose when you'd like to be reminded, for example, in an hour, tonight, or tomorrow. You can also choose Remind Me Later, which opens a new reminder screen. Here you can fill in additional details, then press the blue tick button in the top right corner to save it. The reminder will then appear in your Reminders app, complete with a clickable link that lets you call that person straight back. By the way, how would you like an iPhone tip complete with screenshots delivered to your inbox every single day, absolutely free? If you're interested, scan the QR code on screen or follow the link in the description to get started. You can add not only a person, but also a method of contacting them as a favorite in the phone app. So for example, if you always contact a work colleague by messaging them on WhatsApp, you can set that up as a favorite in your phone app. But an even more useful option is to create a button that lives on your home screen, complete with a photo of that person. Then all you need to do is tap that button to contact them instantly using your preferred method. To set this up, there are 2 things that you'll need. First, make sure that you have the Shortcuts app installed. You can check by opening Spotlight Search and typing Shortcuts. If you see it, you already have it installed. Second, you'll need a photo of the person saved in your photo library. Once that's sorted, here's how to create your quick contact button. Open the Shortcuts app, then press the plus button in the top right corner to create a new shortcut. In the Search Actions field, tap to start searching. Then scroll down until you find the app that you'd like to use to contact this person. For example, if you want to start a FaceTime call, choose FaceTime. If you want to call them, choose Phone. You can also use WhatsApp or Messages. For this example, I'll use Messages since it's the most universal option. Tap Messages, then choose Send Message. Leave the message field blank, and in the Recipients field, type the name of the person that you want to message. Then press the blue tick button in the top right corner. That's your shortcut created. When you run it, your phone will automatically start a new message with that person. Next, let's add this shortcut to your home screen with a photo. Tap the downward arrow at the top of the screen and choose Rename. Call it something like Message Sarah, then press the blue tick. Tap the downward arrow again and choose Add to Home Screen. Here you can customize how the button looks. You can change the color or choose a symbol, but I would recommend adding your own photo instead. Tap Image, then choose Photo, and select the person's picture from your photo library. Zoom in to frame their face, then press Choose. Finally, tap Add in the top right corner. You'll now see the button on your home screen. Whenever you tap it, a new message will open to that person. Type your message, press Send, and you're done. If you'd set this up for WhatsApp, it would open a WhatsApp chat instead, or if you'd chosen Phone or FaceTime, it would start the call automatically. In Safari, if you press the ellipsis button down at the bottom right of the screen and then choose All Tabs, you'll see every tab that you currently have open. If you long press on any of these tabs, you'll find a number of really useful options available to you. You can copy a link, which lets you paste that link into an email, a message, or anywhere else that you need it. You can pin a tab, and when you do this, it disappears from the main tabs view and appears at the top of the screen in a pinned section. These pinned tabs are always available and easy to access. You can duplicate a tab, which does exactly what it sounds like. It creates another version of that same tab. You can also select tabs, When you choose that, the current tab becomes selected, and you can then tap other tabs to include them too. Once you've selected multiple tabs, you'll see new options appear in the top left corner of the screen, such as move and close. You can also tap the small ellipsis here to copy or pin the selected tabs. You can long press to move an individual tab as well. This is useful because it lets you drag a tab into a new tab group or into an existing one that you already have open. And finally, you can long press and choose close tab or close other tabs. Close tab will just close the one that you're on, while close other tabs will close every other tab except for this one. I've featured this next tip before as a useful trick if you have young children and you want to hand them your iPhone, but it's actually really handy from a productivity perspective too. It's called guided access, and if you're not familiar with it, let me show you how it works. The idea here is that your iPhone can stay fully functional but locked into a single app. So for example, you can open Safari or your email app and focus entirely on that without being distracted by apps like Instagram or TikTok. To set it up, go into Settings, then tap Accessibility. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and in the General section, look for Guided Access. Tap into it and enable it. If you're doing this for the first time, your iPhone may walk you through the setup process. Otherwise, tap Passcode Settings and set a guided access passcode. Choose a 6-digit code that you will remember, and if available, you can also enable Face ID for quicker access. Once that's set up, exit Settings and open the app that you would like to stay focused in, maybe Safari, Mail, or another work-related app. With that app open, triple tap the side button on your iPhone. This brings up your accessibility shortcuts. Tap Guided Access. If you've enabled Face ID, guided access will start automatically. If not, you'll be prompted to enter your passcode. You can now use the app as normal, but if you try to swipe up from the bottom to leave it, your iPhone won't let you. You're locked into this one app until you turn guided access off. When you finish, just triple tap the side button again, turn off guided access, and you'll either use Face ID or enter your passcode to end it. Then on the screen that appears, tap End in the top left corner to switch guided access off. A new feature that was added in iOS 26 is a shortcut for creating a new reminder without having to open the Reminders app. It might not sound like a big deal, but it's actually really handy, especially because you can place it in a few different parts of your iPhone. The first method is one that everyone can use, and that's adding it to Control Center. Go into Control Center and long press to enter edit mode. Tap Add a Control, then in the search field, type Reminders. You'll see an option called New Reminder. Tap that, and it will be added to your Control Center. Once you've done that, exit edit mode. Then the next time that you think of something that you need to remember, open Control Center and tap New Reminder. A new reminder field will appear at the top of your screen. You can choose which list to add it to by tapping the list name, then type your reminder along with any notes. You can even add a date and time, location, or flag by pressing the relevant buttons, and finally press the tick button to save it. It's a really quick and easy way to add new reminders. This method works for everyone because it uses Control Center, but there is another option if your iPhone supports the Action button. To do this, go into Settings, then choose Action button. Scroll across until you reach Controls, then tap Choose a Control. In the search field, type Reminders and again, choose New Reminder. Exit Settings, and now whenever you want to add a new reminder, you can just long press the Action button. The same New Reminder shortcut will appear at the top of your screen. Obviously, this only applies if your iPhone supports the Action button, but if it does, that's how you'd use it. You can also take this one step further. If you have an Action button but prefer not to use it, you can assign this function to back tap instead. To do this, first follow the same steps to assign New Reminder to the Action button. Then go back into Settings, choose Accessibility, scroll down and tap Touch. Then scroll to the bottom and tap Back Tap. Choose either double tap or triple tap, whichever you prefer, and from the list, select Action button under System. Now, without even touching the Action button, you can double tap on the back of your iPhone and the New Reminder shortcut will appear because it's linked to the Action button setting. If you ever want to trigger something else instead, you can simply assign a different feature to the Action button and back tap will follow it automatically. If you don't want to switch off notifications on your iPhone altogether, but you'd rather receive them in a bundle all at once instead of constantly throughout the day, there is a feature that allows you to do this. Go into Settings, choose Notifications, then tap Scheduled Summary and turn this feature on. If you're doing this for the very first time, your iPhone will take you through a step-by-step setup guide. But if you've used this feature before, that setup screen won't appear. So let's go through the manual method. You can choose when you'd like your scheduled summaries to appear. Your iPhone will probably create a default schedule for you, but you can fully customize it. You can choose how many summaries you'd like and what times they should appear. For example, you might want a summary at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. To do that, you'd set 3 summaries by pressing the Add Summary button for each one, and then tap into the times to adjust them as you prefer. Next, scroll down and decide which apps you'd like to include in the summary. You can view them by weekly notification average, which shows the most frequent ones at the top, or alphabetically from A to Z, whichever works best for you. Work your way through the list, turning on the apps that you'd like to include. Once you're happy, press the back button to exit the scheduled summary screen. From now on, notifications from the apps that you selected will appear according to the schedule you've set, rather than coming through in real time. And remember, you can remove an app from the summary or turn the feature off completely at any time. Just go back into the scheduled summary settings and adjust as needed. As part of the latest version of macOS Tahoe, you now get a dedicated phone app on your Mac. It makes taking, receiving, and making calls directly from your Mac really easy. And while it might look like everything is happening from your Mac, it's actually a clever system where your Mac communicates with your iPhone and uses your iPhone's cellular connection to make and receive the call. It simply routes the audio through your Mac instead. That means that you can use your Mac speakers to hear the call and your Mac's microphone to speak. There are just a couple of settings that you'll need to make sure are enabled before it all works. On your connected iPhone, go to Settings, scroll all the way to the bottom and choose Apps. Then scroll down and select Phone. In there, look for the option called Calls on Other Devices. Tap into this and make sure it's enabled. Then select your Mac from the list so that it's allowed to make and receive calls. Next, on your Mac, open the Phone app. The quickest way to do this is by pressing Command and Space to open Spotlight Search, then typing Phone. Everything should already be set up, but it is worth double checking. In the menu bar at the top of the screen, click Phone, then choose Settings. In the Settings window, make sure that Start New Calls shows your connected phone number. This ensures that any call that you make from your Mac uses your iPhone's number and routes the call through your Mac. At the top of the same window, select the Video tab. It's a bit misleading because this isn't FaceTime, it's for your audio input and output options. From here, you can choose your preferred microphone and speaker setup. So if you use a third-party mic or external speakers, you can select those instead of your Mac's built-in options. Once you're done, you can make a call directly from your Mac. Just select a contact or press the keypad button to dial a number, then hit the green call button. You can take the entire call from your Mac using your iPhone's connection in the background. If you're fed up with family members constantly asking how to do something on their iPhone, you can actually record your own tutorial video directly on your iPhone, complete with voiceover, all in one go. To do this, open Control Center and check whether screen recording is included. It's the icon that looks like a white dot with a circular line around it. If you don't see it, long press in Control Center to enter edit mode, tap Add a Control, and then add screen recording from the available options. Once screen recording is added to your Control Center, you can simply tap that button. Your phone will start a short countdown, then begin recording everything that you do on screen. If you'd like to include your voice as well, long press on the screen recording button before you start and tap the microphone icon at the bottom of the screen to switch it on. When you do this, your iPhone will record both your on-screen actions and anything it picks up through the microphone, allowing you to narrate what you're doing at the same time. If you're using AirPods, especially the latest AirPods Pro 3, the microphone quality is excellent. But even if you're just speaking aloud while holding your iPhone, it still captures your voice really clearly. Just remember that when you finish screen recording, long press on the screen recording button again and switch the microphone back off. If there's a list in the Reminders app that you use all the time, like a packing list that you always use when you go away, you can create a template for that list and reuse it as many times as you like. To do this, start by creating the list that you'd like to use as your template. So in this example, I've got a typical packing list that I might use if I'm going away for the weekend. Once you've created your list, tap the menu button in the top right corner of the screen and choose Save as Template. Your iPhone will automatically name the template for you, but if you want to give it a different name, just tap into the name field and change it. When you're done, tap the blue tick in the top right corner and your template is created. Now the next time that you want to use that same list, tap the New List button in the top right corner of the reminders screen. Instead of starting from scratch, tap Templates at the top. Choose your saved template, rename it if you'd like to, and press Create. Your new list will be created from the template and added straight to your reminders app, ready to use. So that's my roundup of 10 iPhone tips and tricks that most owners probably don't know. Did any of these surprise you? Or have you got a favorite tip that I didn't mention? Leave a comment and let me know. And as ever, if you found this video useful, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to my channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.